We have been able to tell time from our smartphones for years. Despite this, millions of people wear wristwatches on a daily basis, and the culture is as alive today as it ever was, perhaps even more so. People from all walks of life choose to put timekeepers on their wrists in the morning before heading out. The reasons for doing so are abound, from general style preference to occupation-related necessity to long-held family traditions. Now, not all of these people are interested in the culture per se. For some, a watch is simply an instrument fit for a specific task, nothing more, nothing less. For a lot of us, however, it is a rabbit hole that one day we fall into without any hope of getting out. As investors in this culture, we are continuously considering and appraising different pieces, asking many questions in the process. One of these questions comes up rather frequently. What is the perfect watch? Upon giving it some thought, we might start to wonder if there even is such a thing. In a field tied so closely together with design, technological innovation, and heritage, we tend to make choices based on personal preference and individual taste. Some of us prefer large, bold pieces with vibrant personalities of their own. Some go for smaller, more minimalist creations that serve to underline our own characters. Given this variety, could there possibly be an objective set of criteria that determine the perfect watch? Can it be the accuracy? Maybe the materials it's made from? Or maybe the rarity? Seemingly, it is up for debate. To a pilot, the perfect watch might be an IWC chronograph designed for reliable legibility in the bright skies. To a scuba diving enthusiast, it might be a Seamaster, resistant to the high pressures of the deep blue ocean. A race car driver might choose a Monaco, built with functionality and heritage in mind, and designed to pair well with leather gloves. A marathon runner can depend on a Garmin to keep track of their activity and act as a bridge to get in touch with the body. Are they all wrong? I don't think so. Our brains are spectacular machines, but wired in such a way that we desperately try to find solutions to life's endless problems. These problems, however, do not, or at least should not, always exist. In the consumer goods market, the frequently asked question is, what is the best my money can buy? This is natural, as none of us want to be left out and experience that FOMO by purchasing the second or third best. We apply this principle well when it comes to purely practical products, designed only to serve a specific purpose, and remember to let it go when admiring purely artistic creations, like music, films, and paintings. The reason watches are so special is that they bridge the gap between practicality and art. They are both engineering marvels and artistic expressions of the designers behind them. Tiny complex mechanisms that serve not only to tell time, but also to make the wearer that much happier for having worn them. This duality of functions is one of the reasons for our continuous quest to find the perfect watch. Since it is an instrument, we often apply the same logic when choosing a piece to buy or wear that we do while searching for the best screwdriver set that will allow us to perform the largest variety of operations with it. Another reason is the watch culture itself. Even though prices often correspond well with the level of mastery and effort put into the pieces, a lot of the time they include branding and marketing costs. As with any consumer good, branding plays an immensely important role in the watch market as well. Unfortunately, this draws us away from smaller and lesser known manufacturers to players like Rolex, Omega, and Breitling. Loyalty to big name brands is fostered by the fact that the wristwatch has always been and still remains a status symbol. More often than not, it can show the wearer's level of personal wealth. In some cultures, there are even rules on how expensive a watch should be relative to the owner's monthly salary. These approaches encourage us to try and identify the best money can buy. This leads us astray. It makes us forget that a watch is also a form of art and an expression of design that is meant to catch your eye and leave you in thought. Going by these principles, we miss out on so many great pieces worthy of our wrists. Is it likely that a person with a few thousands of dollars to spare will consider picking up a Junghans or a Monta instead of proceeding straight to Omega, TAG, or Ulysse Nardin? I don't think so. If we don't go by functionality, branding, materials used, or price, how can we then compare and contrast the watches we come across to identify the best? And for the final time, we ask ourselves, what is the perfect watch? The perfect watch is the one on your wrist right now. It is the one that made you stop in the street to look at it closer through the shop window. It is the piece that gets better, more refined, and reveals new details each time you wear it. It is the watch that you look at once in admiration and twice to tell the time. The perfect one is the one you love. Imagine you're sitting on the terrace of a wooden house out in nature and appreciating the cool morning breeze along with the crisp sunlight that is hitting your face and the fir trees around you. You brewed yourself some coffee and know that for about 20 minutes you have a moment to enjoy it. You glance at your watch to check the time as you've done thousands of times before, and instead get lost in the details of the dial, hands, and indices. Once again, you see how beautifully the light rays play with the bezel, and how they are reflected from the case. You've had this watch for over 10 years, and know every single detail of it. You can point out all of its quirks and scratches, and vividly remember yourself acquiring it. And yet, you're still mesmerized by its mechanism, its design, and its intricacies, and appreciate it more each time you wear it. This is a perfect watch. Remember, there are no actual rules governing your choices that have been set in stone. A watch does not have to be affordable or expensive, made in Switzerland or Japan, be quartz or automatic to be perfect. Despite what we often hear, it does not have to be a Patek, Vacheron, or Rolex, and doesn't have to be a busy 45mm chronograph or a minimalist 36mm dress watch. It just has to be the one you love and keep coming back to. The one that, if you lost it, would feel like more than just losing any other possession. Can there be more than one? I think so. There are 3 in front of me right now: a Sinn, a Seiko, and a G-Shock. The perfect watch is the one that I choose for today. Personally, what I value most is the ability of a piece to match my character and act as an extension of my style. It underlines my mood and makes me appreciate it more every time I glance at it. A complex mechanism and an artistic expression. This is what makes wristwatches so prevalent. If there was a universally perfect piece, then it would not be possible for such a rich and varied culture to exist. Remember that you have the power to make your own choices and wear what you like. There is no need to go to watch experts and style consultants, refer to news publications, or use any other resources to find quote-unquote the best. What you may end up finding could only be someone else's best and will probably never become your perfect watch. To avoid this, choose what you desire, wear it with love, and appreciate the decision you have made.